Hey guys, Ken from Oz Tuning here, and we are at Jordan Performance and Racing. As I said, we've got this beautiful 2018 Shelby Super Snake here on the dyno. And since we're tuning this truck on the dyno, we figured we'd take the opportunity to kind of show you guys how the magic happens, the man behind the curtain, if you will. So climb on up here. I'm going to give you guys a little bit of details about this truck, and we're going to kind of walk you guys through our tuning process, maybe show you a little bit of the details, some data logs and stuff like that. Come on up. So guys, this is a 2018 Shelby Super Snake. These trucks come equipped from the factory with the Whipple supercharger. This is the 775 horsepower version. This is the older 2.9 liter supercharger from Whipple, which is still a fantastic supercharger. The Shelby trucks actually come with a 3.75 pulley, which is actually a step smaller than a typical Whipple kit in this same year. So it makes a little more boost, a little bit more power. The big 132 millimeter throttle body. This one actually happens to have the now defunct carbon fiber intake tube, which is nice and pretty. So these kits generally are going to make, the horsepower rating is rated at the flywheel, not at the wheel. So typically these trucks are going to make around the 600 wheel horsepower mark. With our tuning, we typically see an improvement anywhere from 30 to 50 wheel horsepower depending upon the quality of the fuel. Obviously, we also make a lot of changes to the tune in terms of the transmission calibration, the overall drivability of the truck. So there are many benefits other than just the extra power. And that seems to be a pretty common complaint with any sort of the provided tunes or the canned tunes with any of these supercharger kits is the drivability experience. So we improve upon that. And the goals of all of our tunes are just to make, obviously, performance, great power, but we do it safely, and also to just improve the overall driving experience of the truck. Nobody drives their vehicle at watt 100% of the time, and that's really, the small part of the puzzle. So we focus a lot of time on making these things drive well, and that's really kind of where the magic is. So you see, beautiful truck. Has all of the right parts on it, and it's going to be ready to go. We've got some big tires on this puppy. This is the Shelby truck, so they come with the, I think these are 35s or 37s. So power numbers will be a little bit lower on the dyno because we have some parasitic loss because of the big tires and wheels. We will show you the power numbers afterwards. We're not going to pull this thing on the stock tune just because we already kind of referenced that. We know where it is, and we're a little bit limited on time. So we're going to get inside, we're going to get started, and we'll kind of show you guys a little bit of the process.
All right, guys, so we're in the pool. We got everything set up. Justin's going to be running the dyno here. I'm going to be over here manning the laptop. And we did our kind of prerequisites before we start making pulls. We brought the truck up to operating temperature, get the coolant up to operating temperature. We also want to get the transmission up to operating temperature. Everything works better, it's safer when we've got our temps up. So our minimum is about 150 degrees Fahrenheit is what we're looking for in the transmission, ideally even a little bit warmer, and obviously normal operating temperature coolant, and we're around the 195 degree Fahrenheit mark. During that process, we actually noticed a couple of things in the data log. We noticed that the oil pressure was actually a little bit low. So one of the things that we checked beforehand is the oil level in the truck. As everybody knows, these F-150, some of them do have oil consumption issues, and we found that the truck was a little bit low on oil, about 2.5 quarts. So we went ahead and topped that off, checked it again, oil pressure looks good now. So we're going to get ready to make a pull, and we'll go through a little bit of this data afterwards. All right, guys, first pull in the books. We generally always start with kind of a test pull, just to kind of give everything a once over, make sure the engine's healthy, everything's happy. So we pulled 2,000 RPMs to 5,000 RPMs, and then we'll go back and we'll look at this data. So key things that we're looking for here, obviously we want to make sure we got full throttle. We do. We went full pedal, and then we're going to look at our fuel trims here as well. So we see our combined fuel trims through the entire pool, very solid, minimal corrections, 1-2% here and there. Our calculated torque, we're looking here as well. So we've got roughly about 700 pound-feet of torque, which is right on target for this power level. We're also going to look to see if we've got any knock. So we don't have any knock showing. Actually, we're seeing that we're adding some timing here as well. So that means that conditions are favorable. PCM recognizes that and is going ahead and going to add some timing on top of that for us. We're looking at our cams as well. Our cams are tracking properly, and our oil pressure. Oil pressure, we've got around 80 PSI up top, which is about right. We want to have a minimum 10 PSI per 1,000 RPM, maximum RPM. So we're on target for that. So far, everything looks really good. We're going to keep making a couple more pulls, and we'll come back with some final numbers and a little more explanation. right, guys, so we just wrapped everything up here. We made ourselves a full pool. Everything looks great. Made a couple of changes. Fuel quality was actually really good, so we were able to put a little more timing into it. Things that we like to do in our tunes, and while we're looking at logs and things like that during the tuning process, the 2.9 liter blowers have a little bit smaller intercooler than the newer Gen 5 3 liters, so we're always conscious of the charge temps. Today it's pretty hot here in Florida, so this is kind of a real tough test of the efficiency of this intercooler. But through the entire pool, we saw a maximum of just shy of 130 degrees Fahrenheit, which is perfect. We start to question things when we get above like that 140, 150 degree mark, so that's good. Ignition timing looks great. We're right around 17, 18 degrees up top. Knock sensors are adding a little bit timing through the pool. As we near the top of the pool, they start adding a little bit less timing, which tells us that we're right on target with our peak timing. Fueling looks great through the whole entire pool. We're able to lean on the de-ice system the way that we like to do. That gives us nice knock protection whenever we're adding boost to one of these Gen 3 motors, the high compression. That extra DI blend helps us to stave off knock and actually make a little bit extra power as well. So we're really happy with everything. I think Justin's happy with everything.
Absolutely.
All right. Numbers, we'll show the numbers here. As we said before, we're making 5th gear pulls on this truck just because with the big tires, really high vehicle speeds can be a bit dangerous for the stock drive shafts. So we don't want to damage anything on the customer's vehicle. So we're doing 5th gear pulls. Power numbers are even a little bit lower with 5th gear, and we have these great big huge boat anchor wheels and tires. So that also doesn't help our power numbers on the dyno. But as we all know, dynos are tuning tools. We're not really concerned about the overall power numbers. What we're concerned about is the curve, the trace, if everything looks clean, and if the power is on target for where we should expect it to be for this particular setup. And we're right on target for that. So another one in the books. We're going to send this home to our happy customer, and we're going to get jumping on another one here. Take care, guys.